My name is Gabby Cook, and I'm going to be sharing with you the brachial plexus. So first and foremost, there are 5 sections of the brachial plexus. I start most proximally with the roots, and then next is the trunks. After that is the divisions, and then cords, and then our terminal branches. All right, so first of all, with the roots, the most superior is going to be C5. We use all the cervical below C5, so we go to C6, C7, C8, and T1. We end with T1. All right, so there are a few branches off of the roots. First and foremost, we're going to start with the long thoracic nerve. The long thoracic nerve branches off of C5, C6, and C7, and then runs posteriorly behind C8 and T1. The long thoracic nerve supplies the serratus anterior, goes pretty low down into there. And then after the long thoracic nerve, we have the dorsal scapular nerve that branches off of C5. The dorsal scapular nerve supplies the levator scapulae and then the rhomboid major and minor. And that's it for the branches of the cervical region. Or sorry, the roots. I don't know why I said that. Okay. Next, we have our trunks. Our trunks are labeled as upper, middle, and lower. We also have a few branches off of here. First and foremost, we have the nerve to the subclavius. It just supplies the subclavius. And then we have the suprascapular nerve right here branching off of the upper trunk as well, and that supplies the suprascapular as well. Sorry, no. I mean the infraspinatus and then the supraspinatus. The subscapular nerve supplies the infraspinatus and the supraspinatus. And that is it for the branches of the trunk. Next, we have the divisions, and there are no branches, but they are kind of divided up. So they're either divided into anterior or posterior. Each trunk has an anterior and a posterior branch. So off of C5, you have your anterior right here. Sorry, off of the upper trunk, you have your anterior branch up here. And then off of the middle trunk, you have your anterior branch right here. And then off of your lower trunk, you have your anterior branch right here. The anterior, oh my gosh, pinecone just fell. The 2 anterior branches from the upper middle trunks, they obviously right there, you can see they come together. And now all the posterior trunks from the upper, middle, and lower come together right here together. And that's it for the trunks. Next, we will do the cords. All right, so because the cords are divided into lateral, posterior, and medial. There are a lot more branches here, so let's change colors. Let's start with the lateral cord. Right here we have the lateral pectoral nerve. It only supplies the pectoralis major. And then the medial pectoral nerve branching off of the medial cord only supplies the pectoralis major as well as the pectoralis minor. Next, we have the posterior cord. There are 3 in succession right here. The most superior one is the upper subscapular nerve. It supplies the subscapularis by itself. In the middle, we have the thoracodorsal nerve, and that supplies just the latissimus dorsi. And then the most inferior one off of the posterior cord is the lower subscapular nerve, and that supplies the teres major as well as the subscapularis. Now, off of the medial cord, we already covered the medial pectoral nerve. We have the medial cutaneous branch that goes to the brachium that supplies the skin of the brachium. And then a little bit inferior to that, we have the medial cutaneous branch of the antebrachium, which supplies the skin of the antebrachium. And next up, we have our terminal branches. Let me change colors here. First off the lateral cord, we have right here the musculocutaneous nerve. Musculocutaneous nerve supplies the anterior brachium as well as the lateral antebrachium. It also has another cord, but I'm going to get to that in a second. So off of the posterior cord, or sorry, another terminal branch, but I'll get to that in a second. Okay, now off of the posterior cord, we have the radial nerve. The radial nerve supplies the posterior antebrachium as well as the distal lateral antebrachium. And then there's there's branches off the radial artery, the radial nerve called the deep radial nerve, which also supplies other parts of the manus. The smaller branch right here is the axillary nerve. And the axillary nerve supplies the posterolateral axillary area. Next, that I kind of mentioned, from the lateral and medial cords, we have the median nerve. The median nerve supplies the anterior brachium as well as the anterolateral manus. And then off of the lateral cord right here, we have the ulnar nerve, which supplies the medial forearm as well as the anteromedial manus. And that's it for the brachial plexus. Bye.